Well, hello there, my little droogies. I've recently been watching a lot of stuff on the Backrooms, and I think they're kind of neat. And there's a lot of neat stuff out there. And I saw that there were a bunch of video games on about the Backrooms, so I decided I would check out a few of them and just see, what I got. Because why not? And we're just gonna run into this. Oh, what is the place? It's a Volkscar. Well, yes, obviously you need to find a way out of here. Because we can lean. I don't have a gun. I should have a gun. I want all my video games to have guns. Even games where it's like, and then you're playing chess. Well, I think you should still have a gun in chess. In case your opponent is... I guess it's the fluorescent light bulbs? Ooh. Man. Like, this just reminds me of, like, that one scene from, like, Joe versus the volcano, where like he just looks up and they're just like suck, 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 and he's talking about how the fluorescent light like sucks all of the like life out of you, and kind of true. I mean, it's interesting to me because I was watching some different lore on stuff on the Backrooms, and I don't know if it's all canon or what's canon and what isn't, but there's like one in particular kind of canon where like they were gonna try to like colonize the Backrooms basically. And I just like look around and just go, this is so miserable. Like actually, I personally find it like kind of weirdly comforting. Like I find liminal space kind of like weirdly comforting. But I'm just thinking like, imagine like having to come into like an office and like this is just like imagine just staring at this. Which reminds me, I've recently been thinking a lot about like, what it means to have like decent tasks and like important stuff to do while you're like trying to develop spiritually, and what it means to be like on a path. And it's something that's been kind of interesting, and what's occurred to me is that I feel like it's very easy to state that you want certain spiritual advancement but not actually like really like put the effort into it, And, I don't know. I just find that, for instance, despite my, I do a lot of, like bhakti type stuff, but I don't do as much meditation as I used to, and I feel like I should try to get back into that. I mean, like, as a kitty cat, it's like, sometimes it's hard to meditate because your tail will start flicking, and the next thing you know, you want to play. And sometimes it's okay to just go, get up and play and, like, come back later. But I try to get at least, like, 30 minutes done, at least every day. Usually more like 40, like 2 20 minutes or like 4 10-minute settings. It kind of depends, because like if I'm not doing anything, if I'm like at home, it's like way easier to get more time in. But even at work, despite like how well, work, recording videos and doing other things like that, sometimes you just got to take breaks though, and it is nice. I'm finding that if I just like meditate while videos are processing, it gets way easier to like keep track of my meditation. Do you guys find this space creepy at all? I don't really find it that creepy. Mostly just like, I don't know, it kind of just looks like a bad office. Is that knock? Ooh. Oh, hello. Interesting. Can I do something here? Wait, let's see. Is there like an interact button? Controls, crouch, talk. Oh, because there's multiplayer. Player list. Interact. Okay, interact is left mouse button. Okay. Interacting. It doesn't seem like I can do anything with this. That's interesting. Oh. That wasn't particularly scary, just kind of loud. But I feel like a lot of horror games are basically like that, where it's like, it's not like really all that scary. It's more like, oh, that's weird. I mean, I probably should have ran, but I was just like, But, I don't know. I've been thinking about that lately, and I feel like, like Bhakti, you know, like devotional service is come just particularly naturally to me. Like meditation, it's not like it's like difficult for me. It's just that like it's not it doesn't come quite as naturally as bhakti. There's like prayer and offerings and stuff like that. Like that all just comes very naturally to me. I love Kali. And I love the idea of getting closer to her, and I pray to get closer to her, and it feels good to do that, you know? Whereas, like, if I, meditate, you know, like, usually I try to meditate on, like, an image of Kali or something like that. Or, like, you know, just kind of just meditate in general. It depends what I'm doing exactly. But, you know, it's very interesting, and I like doing it a lot. But like, yeah, like the meditation part is a little bit more difficult, I find. Not impossible per se, certainly. But yeah, but it's also like, in a sense, very rewarding, because if you like sit and meditate for a good while, you'll just always feel a little bit better. You know, I find like the more I meditate, the better I feel. So I'm trying to get back into like doing that more often. Okay, I feel like there's something I'm missing that I'm supposed to be doing here. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. I've been doing that lately, and I feel like a lot of people I talk to who they'll say stuff like they're into, like, spirituality and stuff like that, but it's mostly, what it seems like they mean is that they're really into, like, a lot of vague ideas. Like, I don't want to say that a lot of these people, like, don't do anything, but it seems like a lot of it is very, oriented towards like feeling better without like really trying to put like work in. Like I feel like the more I've meditated in the past, the more like I could feel like I didn't get as upset. I mean, like part of this is also just like being a gigantic eldritch cat. Some of it just like it helps with development and stuff like that, you know. Now like how can I see them without them immediately detecting me is kind of a question here. Oh, I'm in a yellow suit. But, and stuff... Okay, no, that was just a random time he decided to make a noise. Ooh, did you see that? That's spooky. Just hanging out? What's it doing? Yeah, like it just makes sounds. Was that around the same time it made sounds previously, I wonder? Maybe I can just kind of vaguely see it. I mean... Oh. Now here's the question. Does this thing move? It kind of looks like he's just sitting completely still. Yeah. Oh, no, it just vanished. Bye. Bye. You know, it's interesting too because like I feel like also like different paths require like more or less effort. Like I do feel like if you were like really to dedicate yourself to like Buddhism, for instance, it does feel like it is very heavily dependent on like practice and stuff like that. I mean, at least to me, it seems like it. Where like I guess some parts of Buddhism, depending on like what you're talking about. Yes, shut up. I know. Is more devotional, but it's mostly like much more practice oriented. And I did notice that a lot of my practices that weren't just like what you call it, that weren't just like how much I can it see me before it like gets triggered. Wow, that's kind of an annoying sound. Okay, I guess it was a little bit slower than I thought it was. But it's, yeah, it has a lot of annoying sounds. Well, am I supposed to do something here? I mean, it seems like there's supposed to be some kind of progress. But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, it is interesting. And in my particular position, a lot of my little practices and stuff like that, you could actually tie it more directly back to Buddhism than Hinduism. A lot of my, like, devotional practice is very, Hindu in nature. A lot of, like, and, you know, like, not entirely, not, like, none of it is, like, kind of, like, from other faith traditions at all. But and, you know, like, I think I've often said that I embrace more of a general mysticism than anything else. It's just that, like, Kali is, like, the aspect of, like, the image of God that appeals to me the most, you know? It has been kind of interesting to think about, like, what does it mean to progress? Like, I feel like a big thing for me for progression is that I notice that I just don't get frustrated very much anymore. Occasionally I get frustrated. Like, today I was playing, a decent amount of, like, VHS, and I was playing as Faith, and I just kept getting... Well, I have to learn better to play the teens, right? But, like, one of the big things that I kept having happen was, like, I just kept dying, and I just wasn't doing very good, and it was getting frustrating, I noticed. But, you know, one of the things I noticed that I've made progress in, and this wasn't always a huge issue, I mean, it used to be a much bigger issue for me, but something that was really helpful was that, I just stopped and breathed and was like, okay, we don't need to get upset about this, you know, stuff like that. Kind of checking to see. I feel like am I supposed to be detecting something? Yeah, maybe I need to watch, like, a little bit of a video on, like, what I'm supposed to do here. Maybe I'm supposed to get detected by the thing, and then I have to escape from it or run from it for a certain amount of time, maybe. But yeah, and that's kind of interesting. And I was kind of thinking about, like, how different paths have different, like, ideas of progression. I feel like, for instance, if you were, like, trying to be, like, a more devout Muslim, I feel like there's certain ways you could measure that and stuff like that. I feel like, as a Christian, too, you could measure that in a variety of ways. I think something that's kind of interesting about the position I find myself in particular, because I don't... If I was going to be technical about it, I don't think I would say I belong to a single path. I would say that I pray to Kali and I do, like, puja and stuff like that, but I also, you know, meditate in a way that it is, once again, and I've mentioned all this stuff before, I know, but, is that it going through, like, the wall? Maybe not. But, you know, it's interesting to think about. And what I was thinking about was, like, how I could dedicate myself more fully to the path and, like, what that would really mean. Like, for instance, like, should I start making more videos that are much more dedicated towards, like, mysticism and, like, God and, you know, like, these things. Like, I like to talk about it, but I often have these, what would you call it? It is at 325. At 325 every time it does a knock. Okay. Maybe that's an indication of something. I don't know. Okay, so while I'm leaning, I can't turn my head. I kind of just want to see, like, if it comes back to, like, right there. Or not. But, you know, I've just been kind of thinking about this. Like, for instance, I just like making the VHS content, but a lot of that, you might argue, is, like, very, oh, hi. Okay, like, that is... It's, like, less annoying, and it's mostly just, like... Okay, no, let me rephrase that. It's less scary, and it's more annoying. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not like if this wasn't happening to me in, like, real life, I wouldn't be like, holy fuck, oh my god! You know? But, like, in a video game, it's just kind of, like... kind of weird. Well, I'm wondering, like, if I have to, like, escape from it for a certain amount of time. I don't know if I could hide from this thing. Okay, although it does seem like I can get maybe slightly further away from it. And that's back the way I came. I really hope this isn't too loud for you guys. I'll have to see if I can maybe turn it down a little. But you know, this stuff is like rather interesting to me. Hello? Oh, no, that's not dead. Okay. Like I said, what am I supposed to be doing here exactly? Am I supposed to hide? I don't even know how like much further ahead of the thing I'm actually getting, you know? Like, am I getting far enough ahead to really hide? I don't feel like I am. I feel like it's pretty much been like, yeah, like right on my butt like the entire time. Yeah, what? Yeah, maybe I just need to come back to this and like after I like watch a video or something. Okay, well that's also interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking about that because I have a lot of different things I could talk about, like on like a for like spiritual topics that I think could be at least somewhat interesting, or at least they'd be interesting to me. And you know, that's like the main thing. I like to go back and watch all my spooky videos. I look at them and I go, "Hey boy, that's a fun video. Oh boy, what a video it is that is fun for me." Okay, well, I'm trying to think. The only things I've noticed that stand out are that there are cracks in certain parts of the doors, or walls, I'm sorry. There's cracks in certain parts of the walls. I've seen nothing on the ground. Nothing I can pick up. I can interact, and so I know that that's a button. Okay, where was this previously? Okay. There is progress. Maybe you have to find like this area pretty quickly. I don't know. Oh. Okay. Cool. Oh, that's a little creepy. So what am I supposed to do? Just like sit completely still when that part happens? I'm guessing so. Okay, or not. Okay, cool. So what, am I just supposed to stay like completely out of there? I mean, understandable. Now look at that thing. Kind of weird. Okay, just a weird room. Oh, maybe I have to like run between safe spots? Wow, that's fucking dark. Okay, it's not a very big room though. Okay, go off again. Okay, so there's one there. See, it seems like it goes off pretty fucking quick though. So where? Okay, so that would be the next area to get to. So 3, 2, 1. Okay. Nope. Okay, well, so what are you supposed to... Okay, so... Well, I guess this now begs the question. I guess they have to be, like, within a certain closeness of me? Because at least on the first time, it didn't seem like they immediately grabbed me. Well, you don't have very long, it seems. Okay. And long enough to get there. See, this is just is an exact copy of the other area. Okay. Interesting. I mean, I like it. It's spooky. But, kind of weird, because they almost look like they have, like, bat shapes. Okay, so there's one more down that way. Well, okay, it really seems like you have very little time to get there. Yeah, so I don't know. I was thinking about that. And, like, whether or not I wanted to talk about different things. I kind of want to talk about just... I kind of want to just keep it random, you know? I like talking about, like, the different random topics. I'm trying to figure out how quick... See, I don't have time... Okay. Maybe it's not quite as clutch as I thought it was. But yeah, but then see, well, okay, so then what? I guess I gotta get to that one? I don't even see any monsters anymore. There are... Is there not like an athleticism check when you get these kinds of jobs? Seems like that would be a good idea, you know? Okay, so where am I trying to get to? Oh. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Okay. So I guess I need to get here. Okay. Okay, what do they look like? They kind of almost look like... This is gonna sound weird, but okay, well here, let me see. They look a little bit like a weird outline of like Alduin, honestly. Which I don't think is necessarily what we're going for. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking that it might be kind of fun to talk about like different... you know, spiritual things. I was thinking about talking more and more about like the mysticism stuff and like what it means to me, and like maybe talking some more about my experiences and like how my beliefs have been shaped and stuff like that. Am I supposed to keep going this way, or... Oh, yeah, I just want to see it. It doesn't seem like anything's happening. I guess I could try walking back this way, then? Do, I love the back rooms. Everything's spooky in the back rooms. Don't you love the back rooms? Yeah, it's cool. Do, I love the back rooms. Like a lot of weird noises. Imagine you want to meet God, but then God says you have to go to the spooky hallway. Okay, so this is where I started? I think? I don't know. You know, this is weird, but I like trippy and weird. So maybe I'll just keep making videos about, like, random stuff and, like, you know, just injecting whatever I feel like talking about. I mean, that's kind of what I enjoy doing. I enjoy making weird videos. And maybe I'll have some that are more focused on, like, a particular subject or, like, spiritual development or something like that. And then other ones can be just kind of random and fun. I mean, the VHS ones are fun, you know? But I don't really know if they're like, there's a particular purpose behind those, really, I'd say, or if it's just kind of, you know, just whatever I feel like at the time. I have a single piece of hair, a whisker that keeps poking me. But I don't know. Am I supposed to be, like, looking and touching, like... Hello? Oh, nope. Okay, I thought that for a second that was progress. It is not. But yeah. You know, funny enough, like, this hallway is actually kind of a good reference for how, like, spiritual progress feels sometimes. It feels like you just put effort and, like, do time and time again, and, like, you just don't get anything, and then suddenly you'll have a breakthrough. I can't tell you how long it was before I had, like, my first really major breakthrough that made me, like, really start investigating Buddhism more seriously, and then not long after that, I had another really big breakthrough into, you know, like, the Hindu stuff, and that, like, the connection I felt with Mother Kali, and, like, how much that turned my life around. But yeah, sometimes you just start walking and you start feeling like you're kind of going in a circle, you know? It's weird. But stuff changes. And it's important, I think, to recognize how different and weird it can be sometimes. Like, I think sometimes we talk about it like it's obvious that, like, oh, yeah, you just gotta do this. But I think it... Oh! This is actually the first time it stopped. Oh, this is spooky. This is kind of cool. Now it's spooky. Okay. Am I gonna get spooked? Am I gonna get scared? Maybe. Oh. Wait, what? Do I need to keep running? What is that? Oh, it's just another... I wanted to see what it was. I was like, wait, is it just another one of those, like, spooky faces? That's silly. Okay. I'm pretty sure I started going this way when I made progress. Is this weird? Do I just keep running? I mean, or is it like a time thing? I don't know. This is both kind of neat, but also kind of just, like, weird. And I like weird, but, like, I don't know. I don't know what exactly I was expecting. I guess, like, it is supposed to be a horror game, so I should have expected that. But, you know, like, this does feel neat in a lot of ways, and I really like the effort they put in, and I think it's definitely worth checking out. But I'm also kind of wondering, like, how many different experiences can you really have? Like, for instance, maybe the Backrooms in the multiplayer are, like, kind of more randomly or procedurally generated type deal. But yeah. Spiritual progress, man. Like when you make it, and you really feel it, and it feels really good. But, like, yeah, there could be, like, a lot of these long periods of just, like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything, or I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. And, you know, like, I think, like, it's really important to, like, sit down and just, like, you know, like, kind of, like, push through. Like, you gotta, like, push through, like, the discontent and, like, the weird parts, and you gotta push through, like, the parts that just seem like it's just kind of dragging on. And if you can really do that, I think it really does help out quite a lot. I think it's very satisfying you know. But I think the difficulty is often this is like you don't really know if you're like really getting anything done, and then it's just like sometimes it's just suddenly just bam, there it is, and then other times it's like you gradually just start to really notice like the little minor changes and things like that, and you start to notice like how different things really are, and sometimes you just gotta like open yourself up and just like be like, okay, like here I am, you know, Mahakali, or like, you know what, whatever deity you might appeal to, or spirit or force, whatever you might appeal to, and you just kind of like open yourself up, and then just next thing you know, boom, there you are, right? You know, and it's kind of interesting how that works sometimes, and like how it just goes from like, you know, just like nothing, to all of a sudden it's just like everything is just like coming into focus, and just all the good stuff is happening. Like in ways that you just were really not expecting, you know? And it can be really, it can be like really amazing when it all kind of pans out for you. And you know, like, and it's often, oh, I think I was supposed to duck in that room back there. Yep. Oh, almost looks like a heart. Oh, it's kind of a, oh, it's kind of looking like a spider there. That's kind of neat. Okay, let's try this one more time and see if we can get past this part. And then I think once we get past this part, I'll just fucking stop for now. And then like maybe I'll come back. I think I can come back. I really and truly hope this isn't one of those games where like you can't load your levels and like you get to a certain point and it's like no, if you want to get back to it, you have to go through it all again. Because I mean, like, this doesn't seem like it's particularly difficult. It just seems like you kind of just like gotta keep trying, and like it doesn't really seem like there's like, what would you, I guess anyone really want to see what you would do multiplayer. What does multiplayer change here? I guess you get to like talk to other people, and that's kind of cool. But yeah, like, this is very scripted. That's the other thing, like everybody, like, I hear a lot of people talk about, like, oh, you know, like, spiritual progress and stuff like that. Like, like, they talk about, like, it's just so simple. But it's like, you look at them and it's like, hey, are you really all that spiritually progressed? Because that's another thing, like, you know, I feel like, like, real spiritual progression often, like, demonstrates itself in your life when it's, like, you, feel, like, you can feel how naturally it comes to behave better, for instance, or, like, to not, or to, like, watch yourself not do the thing that you think is wrong, or the thing that will hold you back on the spiritual progress plane. You know, stuff like that. It's and it is very interesting to see, like, when it functions and when it doesn't function. And sometimes I find myself, like, I don't, like, really ever lapse in practice these days, like, because I don't lapse in, like, or at least I don't lapse in the bhakti stuff. That stuff all comes very naturally to me and stuff like that. You know, like, I find that if I, like, maybe cut back on meditation a little, sometimes it's a little bit easier, for instance, to get out frustrated and stuff like that. But, or, like, sometimes it's a little bit easier to not, like, maybe saying something I shouldn't be saying, that kind of stuff. And I think that it, yeah, like I said, it's really worth trying to pursue and push through it. But I also can understand when people say it's, like, frustrating and stuff like that. There was, like, a long period where I was, like, really trying to get into contact with, like, any sort of spirituality stuff, or spirit, or divinity, or anything, you know, and it just really and truly felt like I just wasn't getting anywhere, and then just, you know, randomly, it just kind of, like, well, it wasn't really completely randomly, but, you know, like, events just kind of lined up. I get it. I get that it's not always easy. I don't like the sound of that. I need to run. I think in this part of the lore, this is like at the part like before they realized that a lot of this shit was dangerous in here. That's kind of interesting. If you if something chases me, I can hide under. Okay, that's interesting. me just check something real quick. I know people are talking to me. I'll play a little longer. Just because, like, this is certainly not what I was expecting. I just kind of want to see what's like. Okay. Oh my lord. Okay. I think that was supposed. Okay. Never mind. I'm gonna call it here. That was silly. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Dear Lord, what the fuck? Oh man, there's your spiritual progress right there. You get to turn into a baghead, man. Oh gosh.